Chapter 1. Prince Jale's Heavy Inheritance. Part 1. A Happy Age. In our world of kingship, vanity, and the earliest of steamworks, we survived because of the strength of our ancestors. For them, happiness was with or without hardships or trials or any manner of philosophy. It is recognized now only in retrospect, long after the victories and defeats, that every day was celebrated. In our lives, danger was never far from home. There was, however, a genuine optimism that was very popular, and so it was that these years were in their own way a joyful time befitting the title, The Happy Age. So we called it the Happy Age, and were very proud of a job well done. To be totally honest, I think we all saw a lot of starving in the streets and ignored it because of that pride. Now if you find yourself living in an age with a name like the Miasma Age, or the Desperation Age, remember, people were starving in the streets even in the Happy Age. It was during the longest winter to have covered the Viking coast in snow and ice that King Jorgen Strongbrew died and left the fairly mediocre Kingdom of Heart and Sword to his son, Prince Jale Strongbrew. This King Jorgen Strongbrew had developed a reputation for giving up on the ancestral Viking lifestyle. At the time, it was fashionable to have a kingdom built on stolen riches and taking slaves. Instead, he devoted his time to baking cake. These were exceptionally delicious cakes he had designed to go well with the many blends of tea produced by the Kingdom of Heart and Sword, and for which the continuity was maintained by his queen Gingerbread, originally of the Fortadia royal family. Contemporary historians agree that the Strongbrew house was the royal Viking line that had founded the Kingdom of Heart and Sword and ruled it whenever its descendants weren't exiled for bad manners, in which case they'd be replaced by faithful dwarven stewards until the royals proved themselves and could return home. All of these factors allowed Jorgen Strongbrews' kingdom to be accepted by its neighbors as legitimate. Officially known as the Kingdom of Heart and Sword, it is referred to commonly as Heart and Sword. For example, Heart and Sword is a fine place in the summer. Going to Heart and Sword? Be careful of that forest to the south, eh? Haunted. I went to Heart and Sword last month and had a gay old time. Are you from Heart and Sword? Get out of my sight. With this particular passing of lineage from Jorgen to Jale, rumors of a decline and dissolution of the Kingdom of Heart and Sword left the prince with a delicate inheritance. The origin of these rumors was believed to be linked to a party where Prince Jale claimed to have cast a magic spell of invisibility on his clothes and danced around the castle appearing completely naked. Why this rumor was so important in the minds of critics is unknown, as the prince was 12 years old at the time. Furthermore, a real academic study of Prince Jale has recently unearthed evidence to his claim to return his people to the old Viking ways by brute force and magic. In either case, the true inconvenience was that magic went out of style over 200 years prior to Prince Jale's time, and it was considered pure superstition and trickery. No sane person believed in or trusted magic openly. To do so would almost definitely result in exile. There was no debate about the possibility of magic. Magic was formally dismissed by many kingdoms, but the idea of magic lived on. And the incident with the invisible clothes is a wonderful example of how the imagination
and dreams of a child, no matter how silly they may seem, can bear truths. In contradiction to this attitude, and at the much more reasonable age of 17, a draft of the Cake Day speech that Prince Jale gave called for bands of the strong and thirsty to go out and take the fools plenty that sat all around. Neither incident prevented Prince Jale from being crowned king the following summer, as had been accorded him by his father Jorgen, because the young man needed time to lighten up. 6 months ought to do it. Despite their differences, the two had spent the last week of Jorgen's life playing cards and telling stories of days gone by. King Jorgen remembered the friendships of his neighboring kings and queens in these stories. They had known threats of revenge for their inherited centuries of Viking raiding, and they had prevailed thanks to their loyalty and wits. Before passing away, King Jorgen gave his son Prince Jale a magical coin and told him one last story. An old elf had given the coin to Jorgen in recognition of their friendship, and for daring to eat all the flies the old elf had put in Jorgen's breakfast oatmeal, as a practical joke. The coin was said to have divine properties that would protect any friend you pass the coin on to. Above all, Jorgen had stressed, dare to be glorious. Make your friends laugh, and remember that flies don't taste so bad when you close your eyes and think about bacon. With a chuckle and a smile, King Jorgen died as his son, Prince Jale, hugged him softly for the last time. The pain I feel can only be comforted by bathing in berries and sprinting along the edge of the forest. Jale had cried on that sad day from the king's window. But as he looked to the white-coated countryside, he knew that if he went berry blazing, he would do it alone. This sport of berry blazing Jale spoke of was really only practiced in the emerald swamps of the Frog King. 'Tis a series of time trial foot races where penalties are also assigned based on cuts, scrapes, and bug bites. The thought of going berry blazing comforted Jale at least. His father had lived eccentrically, and Jale was determined to use his time to find a balance between the old and the new. If only it was that simple.